I tried to stop overthinking for 1 week, and here's what happened. My overthinking has gotten in the way of so many ideas. RIP to all the creative work that I didn't finish because I was in my head and overthinking it. Speaking to so many of my friends, it became apparent that this is something that so many people deal with. So I wanted to create this video and document kind of a self-directed challenge. When we overthink, we stop ourselves from taking action. And, you know, I just feel like I get stuck inside my head so much. And it's gotten in the way of me finishing so many things, or following through with ideas, or making decisions, or sending that email. My overthinking has stopped me from doing so much. And so I wanted to focus this week on really tackling it, going kind of head first into my overthinking. And this couldn't have come at a better time because I just did a little shop update, and so in the lead up to my Valentine's Day drop, I wanted to create as much as I could, get out of my own head, and actually finish some ideas that I've had for a really long time. If you are kind of not sure if you're an overthinker, here's a list of some signs that you might be overthinking. An inability to think about anything else, feeling unable to relax, constantly feeling worried or anxious, fixating on things that are outside of your control, feeling mentally exhausted, having a lot of negative thoughts, replaying a situation or an experience over and over in your mind, second guessing your decisions, which is 100% been what I've been doing in my creative work lately, and thinking of the worst case scenarios. So this video is me trying to stop overthinking for 1 week. During this week, here's what I've learned. Number 1 is get out of your own head and take action. The problem is when it comes to overthinking, like the only way through it is to take action, because we need to get outside of our heads and into some sort of action. What really helped this week is thinking about quantity rather than quality. And I know that might be maybe not the best way to think about it, but it's just about getting out of my own head, creating action, finishing things off, and just trying to focus on something that feels more easy to control than creating a beautiful masterpiece that's going to dictate the future of my creative career. I think so often we get consumption versus creativity kind of balance off, and I know for me that when I'm having a spiraling moment in my creativity, or when I'm not feeling my best, it really is because I've got the balance of consuming so much on social media, or consuming so much content online, or just consuming things that I am not creating. Like, the balance is just off. And I really feel like when I do feel really in touch and connected to my creativity, I'm creating more than I'm consuming. So the best way for me for this first step was to just focus on getting out my own head and taking action. So my goal was to create as many greeting card designs as I could this week. And so I've also uploaded a lot of them onto Thoughtful as well, which I'll link below, and I have a little discount code for you, or you can buy them directly from me on my shop. My second tip is having awareness. I had a difficult day halfway through the week where my problem was solely coming from my creative practice. Nothing was working. I wasn't vibing with what I was creating. I was completely overthinking it and just was thinking like, this has to be amazing and has to be incredible, when I was trying to make this best friends card, and I was like overthinking my style, and I went back and forth between like, should I not do like black lines in my illustrations anymore, because I actually really love that at the beginning of my career I didn't do that, and now I'm like second guessing like my whole illustrative style. And I just had one of those days where it was very much how what was the energy that was leading this kind of challenge for this week, was just this overthinking my creative style to the point where it was consuming me, and I wasn't making any new work, and I wasn't making any personal work, and I just had one of those days. And I went to bed, and the next day I woke up and I was like, I'm not going to overthink. I'm literally just going to finish this piece, this really nice idea. I'm just going to finish it in the easiest and quickest way that I can. And this is how it turned out. I'm so happy with it. Sometimes I can get a sense of like, right, I've spent so much on this art piece and it's just not working. I will just bin it. This was the first time in years where I really like stuck to an idea, especially personal work, and was like, you know what, I'm going to come back to it. I'm going to have some time away from it because I've been staring at it for too long, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to finish it. And that was a real lesson in just getting out my own head, stop overthinking, and also having that awareness, like in that moment when especially in the afternoon after I've been trying for so long, trying to get this piece, like, and then also second guessing my decisions. I was kind of starting it again, or I'd trace the line work again, or I'd change something major about it, and I just felt that the balance wasn't off. And I think it's just a reminder that it doesn't matter how many years that I've been a professional, I speak to so many other creative professionals who say, you know, sometimes you've just been staring at a piece for too long. You need a breather, you need a break from it. And those like fresh eyes after a good night's sleep or after a walk around the block can make such a difference to how to approach the creative decisions that you're making. And so having an awareness in that moment, you know, no, this piece isn't crap. I'm just overthinking it, and I am just overthinking my decisions. Tip number 3 that I learned this week is you do just have to make bad stuff for some stuff to be good. Not everything you make has to be this career-defining piece of work. Not every decision you make has to completely define your career. Not every mistake completely defines your career. Something I realized today on the Friday, wrapping this up, was that I made a lot of stuff this week that I didn't like. I made a lot of crap, which is the lesson I'm learning over and over again. You kind of have to make a lot of crap, even if that's some sketches, some ideas. It just means that you can find the gold within it. But if you don't give yourself the room to try 1,000 times, you're not going to know like those 1 in 1,000 things that have really like, that could be those career defining moments, or could be that body of work that that your style has progressed into a new thing. You know, this was a lesson I learned while making this piece that I will share with you now, this bad bitch greeting card, because I think that the push and pull between my mind and this like tug of war that I've been having in my overthinking moments is that I really want my style, my illustrative style. It just doesn't feel like it's hitting for me. I feel like being unhappy with your creative work can be like a really integral part of you pushing yourself and growing. And, you know, I say it to so many of my friends and people I mentor that, you know, I think being unsatisfied with your work just pushes you to create more. And if you go like, this is the best thing I've ever made in my whole life, you might not make anything ever again. Just take that pressure off yourself and just make stuff. And who cares if it's bad? I think if I didn't have those moments of overthinking either, I wouldn't have made this amazing piece that I really feel like I don't know, as soon as I was sketching it, I just knew, like, this is me, like, this is exactly what I've been wanting from my creative work and from myself. Like, I know I can push myself to do stuff that is like new and different, exciting, but still feels like me. And it just clicked, but without making all the crap that I did this week on making all the sketches and making all the like simple pieces and making all the stuff that was like, you know, all right, then I wouldn't have like been able to unlock this piece that I made, which I really feel like is almost like a guiding light moving forward with how I want to style, like how I want my illustrative style to be. And it's almost like going to the gym, like flexing those, like working on those creative muscles, like warming up. And it just means that you can kind of stretch your ability to think of all the possible things that are lodged in at the back of your brain or your subconscious, pull them all out so you can see them all in front of you and then see what the best thing is. So often in my illustrative career, the first idea I have is the best one. And so when that doesn't happen, I think I can overthink myself, where I'm like, oh my God, this isn't hitting. And I just have to remember, you know, that not every time I create my best work, the formula is going to be exactly the same. It's hard to define. It's hard to create a formula when I'm a person that is constantly evolving and constantly changing. And, you know, sometimes I feel more inspired and some days I don't. Making bad stuff is a really integral part to like find the goal that is also like within. Oliver's having fun with the pillow in the background. And the last final thing that I learnt this week was the power of play. I just spat everywhere, sorry. The psychologist Carl Jung says the creation of something new is not accomplished by intellect, but by the play instinct. And I forget, as a creative, especially as a professional creative, like the power of play. And things that have defined my career and have like when I have found my illustrative style and when I have found like aha moments in my creative career, they have come when I've been like majority just playing and having fun. And I forget that now that this is my job. And I think also with social media and with people I mentor, I hear that from other people of just like, I should be posting on social media, blah, 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 and thinking of things very like marketingly led. And I think we just sometimes forget why we are creative in the first place. And usually it's because it was an escapism, or it brought us joy in some way, or it was something that filled our heart up, or maybe was a mental health practice, or maybe was a stress relief, or even just was a place to play and have fun. And I think connecting with the reason why we created when we were younger and why we still continue to create now is such an integral part to how I got out of my head this week and how I continue to create work. And especially after like the 10th idea that I did, I realized like I'm having so much fun. Like I forgot how fun it is to just make without any expectation, any rules. I had a rough brief to make greeting cards for Valentine's Day, but it was just fun, and I forgot that. And I think when I'm in my head and I'm overthinking, I'm just thinking so much, and that just stops me from like connecting with the joy of creating. instead of just asking myself, like, is this going to work? Is this going to sell? Do people want it? Do people want this? I just tried to focus on having fun and making things that made me smile and made the people that are in my life smile, and making things that lift my mood, and just filling my heart with play. That only came from taking action and creating a lot of crap this week. You can visit my shop where I have lots of amazing Valentine's Day card designs that I'm really happy with. You can also get a lot of these cards on Thoughtful, and I'll leave a discount code down below. New Patreon printable is coming next week. So excited for that. More on that next week. That's it from me. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you didn't mind me shooting this on my iPhone because didn't have my camera today. Lots of love, and speak to you soon.